Hello everybody. This is an astrological forecast for Aries for July of 2012. This also applies if you have an Aries ascendant. Well, we have Mercury, the planet of communications, going retrograde on the 15th of this month until the 7th of August. So normally Mercury retrograde is about little annoyances, little frustrations, anything connected with communications, connected with travel, connected with technology, machinery. All these things tend to be affected by Mercury retrograde. So what can you do to prepare? Well, best thing is that for the first 2 weeks of the month, do anything that is new. So like go for job interviews, if you've got a product launch you want to do, if you've got an important contract to sign, a lease agreement, if you need to move forward with something, do it when Mercury is direct. When Mercury goes retrograde after the 15th of the month, then that's a time to catch up on your paperwork, to reflect on situations. For you, Aries, it's in your 5th house, in Leo, is this Mercury retrograde. So for you, it's to reflect very much on your creative energies. Also, if you have children, to reflect on how you're getting along with children. Maybe you need to reevaluate the relationships that you have with them or with young people in general. It might be a time to reevaluate your business if you have your own business. All these things would come under the purview of this Mercury retrograde in your 5th house. And the main thing is to remember before it goes retrograde to back up your hard drive and to try to get any repairs done that you know need doing before Mercury goes retrograde. Those are really the main things. Often there are some issues with communications. With it being in your 5th house, I would say you may need to stick up for yourself, because we also have Aries, you've got Uranus in your sign, and boy, do many of you really know that you've got Uranus, the planet of change and chaos and roller coasters and excitement, of course, in your sign. So much happening for many Aries over these next several years with Uranus in your sign. And this and for this month, it's opposite Saturn in your 7th house, Uranus in your 1st. So what we've got is this feeling that you need to break out. You don't want to be controlled anymore. You don't want to be told anymore what to do. You need to make your own decisions. You need to stick up for yourself and be more assertive. Now, normally Aries are quite assertive. But for those of you who maybe have other planets that maybe make you a little less assertive, this is a month where you really need to push yourself to be more assertive. Now, that said, first week of the month, we've got a square from Jupiter to Neptune, from your 12th to your 3rd houses. This is important that you don't get taken in by a scam or taken in by just something that sounds too good to be true. It's a wonderful time for helping people who are less fortunate than yourself. That's a wonderful way of making use of that aspect. In the middle of the month, we've got Jupiter conjunct Venus in your 3rd house. This is a wonderful time for learning. It's also a great time for socializing. I would say normally communicating, but we do have to bear in mind we've got the Mercury retrograde, but it's certainly a very good time for studying, for revising, for writing, for rewriting. Very good time for that. And also the possibility of a windfall with the Jupiter and Venus together about the middle of the month. The 3rd week of the month, we've got a square from Pluto to Mars, from your 7th to your 10th house. So this means be careful with people in authority. Maybe there could be clashes, there could be conflicts. Just be aware of that. Could be some issues arising in that 3rd week. And as well, in the 3rd week, we've got an opposition of Uranus to Mars, 7th house. So much going on this month, Aries, with your relationships. Woe betide anybody that tries to stop you doing what you want to do, because there's going to be an explosion, a breakout. So you're going to feel more impatient probably towards the end of the month. An interesting aspect as well is we've got Saturn trine to Venus for you in the last week of the month. So again, a time to reevaluate your relationships. Somebody might be a bit cool with you, a bit offhand, or you might be offhand with somebody else. But it's really time to look at your relationships from an introspective viewpoint. It's very introspective, especially when we get Mercury retrograde as well. I think there have been some endings in relationships, or maybe relationships that do need to end. As far as your career is concerned, you just have to keep pushing forward. And for those of you who don't know exactly what you really want to do, still take your time about it. Don't rush into it. With Pluto there on that in that 10th house, this is not something to be rushed into. This is something to take your time about, to do some serious research about the various options that might be available to you in your career. So all month we've got the square from Pluto to Uranus, from your 10th house to your first house. It's very strong. We're seeing it, of course, in the world with conflicts, with riots breaking out, with earth changes that we're seeing, weather patterns changes. It's happening within you too. There's a breakout needed in your career direction, in who you are, how you express yourself, how you are to the world, and how you really feel as though you want to make your unique difference. It's about bringing out your uniqueness. This is really important, that you're not just going along with the crowd, that you're not going along with what other people seem to expect from you. It's time, Aries. You're number one. This is your time. This is your month. So break the month, the first 2 weeks, do all the communicating, all the important letters, all the important emails, signing important documents, get them done in the first 2 weeks. After that, then that may be a quieter time when you're more introspective, more looking inside of yourself for some of the answers rather than outside of yourself. So I wish you a great month. For those of you interested, I do a free newsletter regularly. And I thank you very much for those of you that do get in touch for readings and ask me questions. Always delighted to hear from you. Have a great month. Bye for now.